Okay. And I want to share too, if there's anybody here who needed Spanish translation, tomorrow morning's presentation at 8 a.m. will have Spanish translation. And then we'll put this presentation on the district website, this recording, and I will actually, let me do one more step for you. If you wanted to follow along at home, I will drop the presentation link into the Zoom chat. So if you do want to open it up, save it for a later date, you have access to the full slide deck. All right, so let me go back and resume. All right, so first and foremost, that arrival pre-check, making sure that you, before sending your student to drop off at the school, that to see if your child has a fever. We are not checking at the gate a student's temperature. So we're relying this arrival pre-check to be on the parents. So check, do they have a fever of 100.4 or higher, or if your child's experiencing any known COVID symptoms like chills, fever, cough, if in the last 14 days, if they've been exposed and have been put into quarantine by a physician, or have been around anybody who's tested positive. So if you can say yes to any of those, we're going to ask that you keep your child at home. And then when a little bit later on the slides, I'll be able to explain what the full day looks like. But if they're not feeling well, but they're still capable of doing some work, we have an option for them to join still with their class and be a part of their peers in the morning. And they can do that work throughout the day and still be counted for attendance. That's the beauty of Zoom these days, right? So we have options, but we feel it's more important to pay attention to this pre-check and keep kids at home if they're not feeling well. We want to keep everybody safe. So messages have been going out. Yesterday, I sent a school messenger. So you would have received an email indicating what cohort your child is assigned to. So if they're in cohort A, they will come on campus Monday, Tuesday, cohort B on Thursday, Friday. And if you selected distance learning, then every day you're staying at home, distance learning via Zoom. And it's the exact same schedule pretty much that the students are have been going through right now, the same schedule where at 8:30, they do their morning meeting, and then the synchronous work, the lunchtime stays the same, and they end at the same time as well. The difference with hybrid is that all hybrid students will Zoom together on Wednesdays so the school can be disinfected. So both cohort A, cohort B, who are assigned to the same teacher, same as they've always been doing, they'll click on the Zoom link within student view, and then both cohorts together will learn together on Wednesday. When a student is not on campus, let's say cohort A is here Monday, Tuesday, probably wondering, what does cohort B do? Well, cohort B in the morning on Monday and Tuesday will Zoom in for the first hour, take attendance. There'll be some teachers are going to be doing the synchronous teaching for math or language arts to help front load the day. And then they'll put them on a schedule to complete work at home. And each teacher will do it a little bit differently, but the idea is for them to be together in the morning, and then right at 9, that's from 8:30 to 9:30. And at 9:30, that cohort who's at home will log off and do their independent work for the day. Schedule. So different this time. If you're used to Franklin in the past, we've opened our gates at 8 because the kids could go on the playground and run around, and then they'd start instruction at 8:30. So students cannot go and run around in the playground like they used to with mixing of cohorts. So instead, the gates will open at 8:10, and then everybody will have access to free breakfast at the gate. So I'll show you in a little bit. We have 3 different gates instead of the normal 2 at the gate, and each grade level is assigned to a specific gate. So the students would go to their assigned gate, and we'll have the school site monitors and support staff, myself, our counselor. Some of the teachers might be there first thing in the morning when the gate opens to greet the students, and then We'll have carts at each gate where the students will grab their breakfast and walk to a designated area to eat their breakfast. So they have a good 20 minutes. So if you want your child to eat breakfast at school, we highly recommend you get them there around 8:10, so that they have time to get their breakfast and sit down and complete it before going into the classroom. They don't have to eat breakfast at school. If you want to feed them at home, you can, and they just come to school and they'll go straight to the classroom. If they're in the classroom, and then both the kids who are finishing their breakfast and the ones that are already in there, they'll all come together at 8:30, and that's when the teacher will turn on the Zoom and bring in the cohort at home, and 8:30 to 9:30, both of those cohorts are together. Dismissal is going to be in a range. We're dismissing early because the teachers are going to have their prep at the end of the day. So we're dismissing between 1:50 and 2:10. And I see we have a question in the chat. Let me pop up. Oh, good question. So the question was about the meals that are traditionally given for the week. So I do have a slide on that in a little bit later, so I'll touch on that in just when we get down a little further on the grab and go meals that we've been giving out all year long. All right, so at arrival, your student comes, you're coming to the school, you're going to drop them off. So just like in the past, and I'll show you in a minute, we do have maps, and I will be emailing through School Messenger by grade level a video and a map for you to go over with your child, and the teachers will do it as well. So just like last year, TK and Kinder will enter in the parking lot off of Calle Tampico. That's the parking lot in the front of the school, because the Kinder gate is right there as soon as you pull into the gate. And then the upper grades, 1st through 5th, will go in that loop off of Eisenhower. So they just pull in. We don't want anybody, we're trying to really avoid families parking and walking their child. I know it's going to be really tough the first week, particularly with Kinder. I understand TK Kinder, they've never been on our campus before. It's new, it's different. So if parents if you feel more comfortable the first week in parking, just give yourself enough time. Parking is limited in the front parking lot, and we can't park on the streets. Usually the city of La Quinta, the cops are out there and they will ticket if anybody's not parked in designated areas. So that's why it's easier to go curb the car and open the door and drop them off. But I understand with the little ones parking and walking to the gate. Like I said, gates are assigned by grade level. At 8:10, the gates will open. Please do not drop students off early. There is no supervision at the gates before 8:10. Students can bring their backpack, and they need to bring their device back and forth each time, because when they're at home on the off days, they will need their device. Students need to wear a mask. We will have masks at the gate every single day. So if they forgot one or they just want to use the ones that we have, that's fine. We also will be giving every student 5 cloth masks that say the chargers on them. They're really nice. Actually, they look like these ones here, chargers. So every student will get 4 of these, and then they'll get a cotton royal blue one that say the chargers on it as well. So they get to keep those. And then we'll also have sanitizer at the arrival as well. And we expect the students to use hand sanitizer upon their arrival. So here's an aerial view of our school. So it goes to show you here in the front, there's Calle Tampico. And in the green bottom left-hand corner, TKK are going to enter over there. The first entrance is blocked. If we left that open, you would see cars all the way up to the roundabout. So by opening it, the one later on, it allows a lot more room for us to loop in. And if parents need to go into the parking lot, they can. It opens up a lot of spots and do their drop off, and then continue through the loop and exit back out on Calle Tampico. And you'll see in the corner on the right side here, there's a monkey. That's the TK Kinder gate. So they will go ahead and go through that gate. The 1st through 5th graders will go in off of Eisenhower on the left, top left area. There's a loop, and you just drop off so we can keep cars moving. And the 1st and 2nd graders will go in the gate here. There's a sloth in the middle there. Kids know it as the bike gate. So they can go in that gate there. So we have the monkey gate, the sloth gate, and then the 3rd through 5th graders have the bear gate. On that first week they come back, we're having a welcome to the jungle theme. You will see lots of dress up and characters and fun, trying to make it really exciting for the kids to come back. We'll have balloons and just making it really fun. So here's another map. Oh, sorry, the gates. I explained we have the different gates named. Students are expected to wear a mask and hand sanitize and we have breakfast tables. I'll show you in just a moment. If they don't have a mask, we'll provide one. And teachers next week will show all these maps and videos. And staff will be visible during arrival and will assist students with walking them to their classroom and making sure they get to where they need to be. Parents are not allowed on campus. We cannot have any visitors on campus. And maps and schedules will also be loaded to our school website. So when they do come through, we have our hand sanitizing station. So as soon as you go through the gate, of course, we have hand sanitizer. These are also located around campus. And then we have these hand washing stations from Burtech. So we have 2 right now, and I believe we're getting 2 more. So students can use those as well. And they also can use the sink in the classroom too. And they also have the hand sanitizer bottles. We have them on every single table outside, which I'll explain in just a moment. All right, so here's the banners. You're gonna look for these. They're gonna be hung outside of each of the 3 gates. So for 1st and 2nd grade, they'll see this one outside of the sloth gate. And then we'll have the same one for bear and for monkey. And here's an example of the map. So TK and Kinder, showing that they're gonna go in that one gate, and you can see in the bottom right where you see the charger signs. Those are the 3 classrooms that the teachers are teaching hybrid. So we have Mrs. Burke, Mrs. Smith, and Mr. LaBerge will be our hybrid teachers here on campus. And you'll notice these picnic tables. So the district was very generous and bought us all new lunch tables, which we have now. They're beautiful. So we were able to pull all of the lunch tables, the old lunch tables, and spread them all over campus. So every grade level has their own breakfast area with 6 tables. So they're all, and I'll show you pictures, but they're all spread apart 6 feet. There's designated spots for students to sit, keeping it real safe and clean. So the same thing here now. Here's 1st grade. We have the directional mapping. They go in their gate and follow the directions. We have the 1st grade area here. So we have Mrs. M&M, Miss Rains, and Mrs. Moyer are our hybrid teachers. And here's an example of 5th grade going in the bear gate and how they get directly to their tables. And we have Mrs. Kissling and Mrs. Sanchez, who are our 5th grade hybrid teachers. Oh, and Mrs. Tarasio over here on 607. All right, we have a quick video. I want to make sure, I think I built my sound in, but I just want to be sure so you can hear it. I should reshare them. Yes, I did. Okay. So we'll share that. The students will be able to see that next week, and then you have access to this as well to review. Oh, come on. Whoops. Come on, exit. One sec. Okay, moving on then. Okay, here's our timeline to restart now that we're all board approved. So tomorrow, the students may have already, or teachers may have shared with you already, that tomorrow is the last day of trimester 2. So it's actually going to be the last day that teachers are with their current students. Now, it doesn't mean they're losing all their students. It's just some students are changing because of their cohort selection. So if you, let's say, for example, let's say with Mrs. Withrow is one of our hybrid teachers. If your child was already with Mrs. Withrow and hybrid was the choice for you, then you would stay with Mrs. Withrow. The only time it's changing is if the selection you changed for like distance learning and that teacher isn't going to be a distance learning teacher. So tomorrow will be the last day for the current grouping. It's a shortened day to give teachers some time to transition, because on Monday, the new cohort will begin virtually. So tomorrow, students will log in at 8:30 like they normally do through Zoom, and they're going to have synchronous work in the morning. And then lunch for everybody, 10:40 to 11:20. And in the afternoon, they'll just do their synchronous or their asynchronous work on their own, so the teachers have time to prep. And then next week, Franklin, it's unique next week because we have parent-teacher conferences. So it's a shortened week anyway. If you have not received a parent-teacher conference call or invite, it's because they're not required for every student trimester 2. It's only when the teacher sees that it's fit to have a meeting. If the teacher sees it was fit, they would have reached out to you to schedule a meeting. And it shows here that the new cohorts start virtually next week. So the 8th, they'll start together. And then Thursday and Friday next week, per the negotiated MOU, the teachers get 2 transition days to prepare for hybrid, to come back on campus, because many of them haven't been at school at all. Some of these classrooms still look like they did back in March with, work around the room, but the desk and everything, the environment has changed. We got it set up for them. So they will have your child will join Thursday and Friday at 8:30 in the morning just to take attendance and set the day. And then they're going to log off and do the independent work for the day. And then the following week, March 15th, is when hybrid instruction begins. So cohort A, we'll see you here on campus at 8:10. So I mentioned breakfast. As soon as they come in, they grab their breakfast at the gate. They take it to a designated grade level area. So each grade level has 6 tables. The tables are marked. So this picture on the right, we can fit 3 students to 1 table with 6-foot distancing. So you'll see on this one, you'll have 2 students on one end of the table on the bench on far sides. And then the 3rd student can sit on the other side in the middle. So it's like a triangle, but we've measured it all out to keep with 6-foot distancing. They're not eating breakfast in the classroom. And if they don't need breakfast, they go right to the classroom. The teacher will be there. And then at 8:30, finish up and class will begin. All right, so recess and lunch. So students do get recess. Yay, they get to go outside, they get to play. And they can go on the equipment, but we are not allowed to mix cohorts. So with that being said, I'm going to give an example here for 3rd grade. So in 3rd grade, in each grade level will get to go out at a set time like they always have. So they get 10 minutes to go out for their morning recess, 10 minutes in the afternoon. They get a 20-minute lunch recess. So during that time, when those 2 classes go out, we're going to have structured like fitness play. So there'll be a school site monitor, coach might be out there, Mr. Haran from the Inquiry Lab. We're going to have staff out there to keep it very organized so that those two classes don't commingle, that they're staying very separated with organized activities. One of them could be assigned to strictly play on the play structure, while the other class does some other type of organized activity. Then the next time that you have recess, that could flip. So we're building a schedule for the recess. When students go out to recess, they must sanitize their hands before play and after play. So by having clean hands going out there, that's how we can allow them to use the play structure, and they do need to wear their masks when they're outside as well. Students cannot bring items from home, so make sure you check their backpack. I know how sneaky they can be. They want to bring toys and maybe a ball or a jump rope, and unfortunately, we cannot allow those items. And we will not be providing balls or jump ropes at this time until the restrictions lift a little bit more. Students, when they get their lunch, so lunch is free for every student, just like breakfast. They're not taking any names, it's just grab it and go sit down. So students can go through and grab their food and sit in an assigned table. Students can still bring their own lunch if they want. If you have that's your routine and you want to pack a lunch for them, go for it. But what we're asking is, please do not bring lunch to the office. The office does not feel comfortable having meals dropped off during the day, fast food, things like that. So please, if they either can have the free lunch or you can pack it and they bring it to school with them in the morning. And then make sure to send your student with a water bottle. We have cautioned off the drinking fountains. But we have several, like 3 or 4 water bottle fill stations, so they can go and with their own water bottle and refill it at any time. So device and materials, they do need to bring their Chromebook or their tablet back and forth every day. If they don't bring it, then they're going to have to use paper or some other alternative, like a plan B in the classroom, because we do not have enough devices to give every student a backup device. We're asking the last distribution, there were a lot of materials that were sent home. The only thing we're asking for students to bring back when they come to hybrid, they just put it in their backpack and bring it to the classroom, are any of the reading and math consumables, because these can still be used in the classroom and we don't have extras to give every single hybrid student. But they can keep everything we've been giving them throughout the year, like the fraction tiles, manipulatives, the headset, the mouse, any of that stuff, the whiteboard, keep it, because they may need it during the other off days that they're not physically here on campus. We bought extras of everything for every student to have their own supplies at their space, so nothing is being shared at all. For dismissal, we have purchased the silent dismissal app. So we are not, like in the past, we're not walking all the herds of students out to the pickup area. That's just not safe. So we are encouraging parents to download, it's free, the silent dismissal app. And then we'll get you more information next week. I don't have all the details right now, but basically how it works is you would pull up in your car, or if you walked up and you show your app, and it will show your students, and it triggers a message to the classroom. The students will stay in the classroom and the teacher will see, oh, Raiden, your mom's here. And then Raiden will be excused to go walk and get picked up at his gate. All right. And the kids need to go to their assigned gates. Siblings, it's okay for an older sibling to come and pick up a younger sibling, totally fine. If students are taking the bus, I do have a master list. So if you are wondering if you are a busser or not, you can call and ask the office. But they will be excused at 1:50. The bus arrives at 1:55, and walkers will be dismissed at 1:50, and they can start walking out their gate. I'm going to pause for a moment because I see the chat box popping up. I just want to make sure I don't get too far ahead. Oh boy. Okay, let's see. We're saying, okay, so I will address the food in just a moment. So they are in class all day. Yes, so cohort A will be in class from 8:10 to about 2 o'clock. And then the same with cohort B. It's a full day. I know I've heard some districts, they only come for about 2 hours. So we got lucky with being able to keep them. And they do need to wear a mask, and you can bring hand sanitizer if you'd like, no problem. The shield, if we're asking that if a student wears a shield that they have a drape, but we really want to, if they wear the shield, they do need to wear a mask unless there is a medical need. And if so, we need just a doctor's note, or if a student is on an IEP for special ed and has a specific need, just we can work with you on that. But every student otherwise needs to wear a mask. The mask, if you want to, just if your child is in distance learning and you want to get a couple of these masks, just come to the office. We'll give you them. We have a whole bunch. And then Parent View will go live tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. for you to find out who your teacher assignment.
Mama, can I have one?
Okay. There we go. Mute. Can't do it. Ceci, can you mute, please? Thank you. Okay. I mentioned bus riders, so if you're not sure if you are a bus rider, you can call the office and find out. And the meals are going to be literally grab and go. Very simple. It's by law, we have to give a milk. So they will have a milk in the morning. They may have a juice with it, but it will be like a muffin, something that it's not going to require a lot of preparation. It would be smart to bring their device charged and to bring their charger. We will have extra chargers in the classroom, but it will never hurt to carry their own charger just in case. Not all of them hold their charge like some of them. Some of them don't last as long. And the app was called Silent Dismissal. Right here, it looks like this in the top right-hand corner. And for walkers, good question. No, if you are a walker, nobody needs to have this app. Walkers will just go. They just walk home. It's if they're being connected with a parent. Mostly with those who have cars. They're driving up and here's my child and we can connect you really quickly and safely. All right, great questions. So class list, the safety plan, the COVID safety plan that the district had approved the ratio is 16:2. So in a classroom, we can safely hold 16 students and 2 adults. And that 2 adults helps us with allowing, let's say for special ed, to go in and provide services. The counselor could go in, I can go in. What I'm trying to do, I have some cohorts that are at 16, but I'm trying to keep it at 15. If we get new students who come on campus and I need to have a little bit of padding room to allow them. And I mentioned that class cohorts are now, the cohorts are live, A, B, and DL, and then tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock, you'll know who the teacher assignment is. As you go in there, I've been receiving emails and with certain requests, and I love it when you explain to me why you need the request. If it's a work day, there's a health risk, you were hybrid, and now you need to be DL, or distance learning, just let me know. If I can make the change, I will. But I do have quite a few cohorts, particularly 3rd and 5th grade hybrid are at max capacity, and 4th grade distance learning is at capacity. And I have to stay within the ed code requirements for class size. I can't go over them. So class setup, what does my kids' class look like now when we're in hybrid? So we do have to stay to the guidelines of keeping the desks and the chairs 6 feet apart in every direction. So we've gone in with the measuring tape and pulled in all the directions to make sure we are 6 feet. Every desk has a desk shield on it. We're giving every student a seat sack. So they'll keep they're not going to be putting their things in the desk. They're going to have a sack on their seat. They can put their materials in a pencil box. And then at the end of their cohort, they will move it, and the next cohort will have their own seat sack and pencil box. We have wait here stickers to be, they're all over the classroom to keep with distancing, like at the sink or at the teacher's desk. And then K1, we have ropes with 6-foot knots in it, so that, you know, these little guys, these kinders who haven't been here before, we want to keep them, pretty soon, 6 feet, you have 60 feet long of a class. So by having them with a rope and they hold on to a specific spot, it just keeps them all together. So here's a classroom. This is Mrs. Dudzik 3rd grade classroom. So I can show you the spacing and the desk shields. And in the back there, you see the LFD. So let me go back to one spot and freeze it. Okay, whoop. Too fast. Okay, so in the back there, you see a big TV. That is called a large format display TV. It has a built-in computer and it's touch. So every teacher has one now. And when let's say cohort A is here on campus, that 8:30 to 9:30, the teacher will turn on this, the LFD, and bring up Zoom. And then there's going to be a camera on the top. So cohort A and cohort B can see each other. They can interact together, just done virtually, and that can be moved around so that it can see if the teacher's writing on the board. Really can be placed in any way so that they're all together. Oh, it's going to do it to me again, isn't it? Do one more sweep then and see if it lets me move on.
Excuse me?
Yes.
Why do I have to?
What's that, Angelo?
How, if I stay home, why do I have to change teachers?
Yeah, so if you're at, oh, I see, yeah.
If you have the teachers.
Yeah, that's a good question, Angelo, I know.
And if you have
yeah, so
equipment everywhere, and why can't I have the same teacher?
I know, sweetheart. I wish we could keep everybody the same. It's just a different structure. And it was agreed upon that if students stayed in distance, then they would have one teacher that would stay with that distance group. But you know what? It's not going to be very long. This school year is going to get over so fast, and hopefully we can all be together next year. Yeah, I'm sorry, buddy, but I can keep you muted. Okay, we're going to move on. Okay, so next, the question comes, what if a student or my student gets sick at school? And what do we do? So we have a student symptom response tree, and I'll show you what it looks like. But keeping in our theme of our animals, we have a specified room to take students to we're calling it the den, a safe room. So it's a separate classroom from the office. Anytime a student shows a symptom of COVID, and it may have nothing to do with COVID, but we're just going to be precautious with it. Or precautious. So student has a consistent cough, is feeling warm, any of those symptoms that we normally would see that are related with COVID, we would have the student escorted by one of our school site monitors to the den. And in the den, it's room 402, and we just have it set up. It's a real safe, comfortable room. And they would call the parent, and we'd ask the parent to come pick up the child and monitor the child. If the symptoms are gone, the student can come back within 24 hours. But if they seem to be heightened and more severe, we ask you to go to the doctor or get a COVID test. And when you do pick up your child, you're going to go to that bear gate where the normal pickup is over by the lunch area. So they go in that gate and we'll have it open for you. And you go to room 402, which is, here, I'll show you on the map. So when you go in the bear gate, it's that first classroom over here on the right-hand side, 402 by the lunch tables. And there are no other classes going on in 401, 403, 404. It has its own bathroom. We'll have our own, the infrared non-touch thermometer that the student can just put their head up to so we can check their temperature. And then, like I mentioned before, if your child is sick, they can totally join from home on Zoom in the morning and just get the rest of the, pick up or do the work that's assigned after 9:30, and they will not be marked absent. So if you just let us know so-and-so's not feeling well, they're going to join and it will be totally fine. Here's that student symptom response tree. So we'll go over this with our staff. And it just shows you what is low risk symptoms and what are high risk symptoms and what to do. So a low risk symptom, we're saying, okay, stop what you're doing. Let's send the child home and then self-monitor for 24 hours. If the child has a low risk, too low risk, or a high risk, then we're saying send home and get checked by the healthcare. And they can return based on what the healthcare says. If they have a negative COVID test, let's say they got tested, they can come back to school. If it's positive, then of course they'd have to go into quarantine. So anytime we're going to take these case by case, I highly recommend that parents go to the district website. On the front page of the district website, and it just went away. Let's go ahead and refresh. Is the COVID safety plan. So it's 48 pages long. Definitely not something, here it is. So you can just click on this link and it takes you, you can view and read the entire safety plan. And it just explains what happens in the event somebody tests positive, what do we do and all that. And then at this point right now, with the way the numbers are, we would be doing COVID testing on site. I'm getting some more information tomorrow, and this could entirely change. But if we were to move forward, we would be testing weekly. So cohort A would be on Tuesdays, cohort B would be tested on Fridays. There is a choice. Parents can opt out of having their child tested. Staff would get tested. And classes would go together. There's the covered area outside. District nurses would be there. The student would do it themselves. It's not the big long one. It's just the quick little swivel in the nose, and they collect it and they get the results within a day or two. But this is totally subject to change as the rates are dropping. All right, so we know so much has been going on with our kids not being here at school. It's been a year, and I understand, there could be COVID that has passed through families. So we just want you to know and your students to know that we're here to support you. If you may have met Mrs. Gibb, our school counselor, and she is ready with open arms virtually to welcome our students back and help them transition to school. So she's going to be doing check-in with certain students. She's going to continue with guidance lessons. She can do her small groups like she's normally done virtually. If students are in the same class cohort, she can pull them to her classroom as long as they're in that same stable group. And then I recommend our district website has a lot of great resources, but if there's anything your family needs, we know it's been tough. If there's resources you need connected to, whatever, just we have so many resources ourselves within this community that we will make that connection and help you, whatever it is. So you may be familiar with ACE's after school program. There will not be any before after school programs right now for the remainder of the year. You may have seen that ACES staff has been on campus Zooming in with classes and providing extra support. So they will continue to do that. If your student needs some intervention, we can join through Zoom and help with some tutoring and things like that, particularly the kids who are at home working on the off cohort. They will also be on campus to assist with their arrival, dismissal, and recess. They just cannot go physically into the classroom to provide support. So we're very, very fortunate to have them. It's about 4 staff members. And then the district meals will continue. So Franklin will continue to be a meal distribution site for the community. It's just changing now to Wednesdays because now being back at school on Monday, it was going to cause some conflict. So Wednesday is the day they will get meals for 7 days, but students can still receive breakfast and lunch at school in addition to the Wednesday distribution. So if your kid comes to school in cohort B and gets breakfast and lunch, you can still come Wednesday and get meals for the entire week. And just a few disclaimers. We're going to be very vigilant about students following the guidelines, how important it is to be wearing a mask and maintaining social distance. So a student can be removed from hybrid if they consistently do not follow the guidelines. Same thing goes if students are not being picked up on time. They can also be removed. They can be moved to the distance learning cohort. We're asking that no snack donations. Several parents have asked, can they donate snacks? Teachers would prefer not to have snack donations. You can donate tissue or hand sanitizer, anything, although we're going to be providing a lot, but any cleaning things that you feel that you would like to donate, that's okay. No birthday parties, no cupcakes, things like that. And again, we're asking at lunch to not bring outside food to the office. All right, let me go back read through some of these. So with the Zoom meeting for a sick kid, the same as it is now to join the classroom through student? Yes. Yep. So starting on Monday, all the new cohorts will be updated. So students on Monday will go through their student view and they will see the Zoom link to join their new teacher or if it's continuing to be the same teacher. And yes, COVID testing is easy. I agree. And yes, I'm assuming Mrs. T would be Mrs. Tarasio. So yes, we're going to continue with providing the services for special ed. And pretty much everybody's going to be on campus. We won't be responsible if the lines are very long. Oh, totally. Yeah. And especially the first week or two, we are going to be very understanding. We're going to understand that it's going to take a little bit longer to get here, to get dropped off, to get through the door. So yeah, we're not going to be penalizing families that arrive late. Be totally fine. And it's not a requirement for teachers to get vaccinated. The district is offering, they're waiting for the vaccines to arrive, but they've had a sign up and over 2,000 staff have signed up. So that's going to be when the vaccine does arrive, it'll be over at La Quinta High School, and they'll have a schedule to get those done. But I know many staff have already on their own gone and got the vaccine. I'm one of them. So I know everybody's very, very cautious about doing what's right for our kids. All right. How will we know? So if your student stays on distance learning, again, tomorrow at 8 o'clock, Parent View will go live and you can go in there and see who your child's assignment is. All right, I am going to stop sharing and go back here. I know it's so much information, but please know you can refer back to that presentation, and this recording will go. We'll have Mrs. Dudzik put it on our school website. Can you please have the teachers email the Zoom links just for next Monday to the students' email and the parents as well, just so we all hit the ground running? That's a great idea. I can't require it, but I can definitely suggest it. Anything else? Wow, you guys are amazing. Yes, we will have so many support staff around campus to help students find their way to the classroom. And that's what these maps too. The teachers will review the maps next week. Next week, because it's a shortened week with the 3 days pretty much and early release, it's going to be a fun transition week, getting to know the kids, having relationship building activities, going over the procedures, going over the maps, and just making it really fun and exciting to come back for hybrid.
Yep.
The hybrid teachers for 2nd grade are Mr. Londos, Miss Neri, and Mr. Dudzik, and 4th grade is DePintor, Withrow, and Baker. Hold off on silent dismissal. I'm going to a training early next week, and I'll get all the information, and I'm sure there's going to be flyers that I'll send out to the hybrid cohorts with all the directions. So we don't need to, we still have a good week in like 10 days. We'll get it to you, I promise. All right, well, I will stay on if anybody wants to ask any questions personally.
Are you looking for?
And if you want to go, you can go. And I'd say thank you so much for joining me today. And I'm just so excited to see the kids back. It's a very lonely school here without the kids. Very quiet. And for 3rd grade, are you asking for hybrid?
So, Brandon va a entrar por aquí por el camino. ¿Verdad? Y luego ella.
The 3rd grade hybrid teachers are Mrs. Dudzik and Miss Acton.
Y van a hacer la aplicación para levantarlo.
Look at my dad's name.
This presentation, are you asking this presentation or the video?
Yes. Roman, it's Roman.
Oh.